Hello, guys. So today I want to talk about empire because ever since Donald Trump came into power, it's been trending, especially on X, formerly known as Twitter, and also on YouTube. People like you've been seeing a lot of empire from people like David Uding and Mike Benz, who is a former FBI something. Many Nigerians and Africans at large may not fully understand how empires function or how larger and more powerful nations like the US, UK, and NATO exert their influence over Africa and control its resources. Because we don't understand how these mechanisms work, we often dismiss them altogether, believing that they are not happening. The next question you want to ask yourself is, what is an empire? An empire is a large political unit where a central authority, typically a ruler, a government, or a dominant nation, controls multiple resources or people. And also, empires are built on various methods, including military conquest, diplomacy, trade, and cultural influence. Now, many Africans believe the continent's problems stem solely from greed, selfishness, and unprincipled leadership amongst the leaders. Now, while there might be some truth to these things, but we need to understand that the issue runs much more deeper. And investigative journalists like David Uding, Mike Benz, has been trying to shed light on those things and trying to educate Africans, especially we Nigerians, about the systems that keep subjugating us. Without recognizing our real enemies, it's going to be difficult to liberate ourselves. So we need to understand those things. Empires have existed throughout human history, with stronger nations dominating smaller ones, especially those rich in valuable resources. So the ideology behind this empire thing is why trade, which is the official means of exchange between territories, between lands, between countries, within nations. But why trade when I can actually take your land, or when I can use my own military might to invade your land and control your resources? So this is how these ideologies are formed. Why do I need to trade with you when I know I can actually oppress you, when I know that I have more power than you? I can practically bully you. Past empires, such as the Ottoman Empire, Persian Empire, Roman Empire, and probably more recently the British Empire, all operated using these principles of divide, conquer, and rule, splitting regions, territories, and weakening their resistance. You understand? So the more they weaken those regions, the more they split them, the more they are able to exert control, because now they are now smaller territories. They can't come together to fight. So they keep fighting themselves. While the bigger nation takes control over their resources. Many believe empire building is a thing of the past, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Now, why earlier empires expanded through military invasions and territorial conquest, today's empires used more sophisticated methods. For example, USAID, and CIA. So instead of direct military occupation, direct military invasion, powerful nations like the US now rely on soft power tools like USAID, CIA, and other agencies to exert their influence over smaller nations like Nigeria, Kenya, and the likes. For example, in the case of the United States, these institutions like USAID, CIA, they are used to control nations they deem threat, enemies, or strategic interests. So if a country has valuable resources like crude oil, gold, and the likes, so the US try to gain control, and sometimes they do this by destabilizing those peaceful regions, nations, and turning them into war-ravaged territories. We've seen such in cases like the Congo, Syria, and the likes. We have seen these tactics play out in Syria and various African nations, such as the Congo, where foreign interference has fueled instability. Yeah, all in pursuit of resource control. Even in Nigeria, these mechanisms have been employed to support the current Nigerian president, ensuring alignment with external interest. Yeah, the reason why you need people like Tinubu who have criminal records with the FBI in the US, yeah, is so that they can maintain control over Nigeria. They can have direct access to some of our resources. So you need someone you can control to do these things. At the heart of modern imperialism is a single objective, which is what? Control. The goal is to dominate Africa's vast natural resources, yeah, while ensuring that its nations remain poor, unstable, and dependent on foreign powers. This reality is difficult to understand, yeah, but understanding it is the first step towards liberation.